So good afternoon. It's a pleasure for me to be here to speak to you about the microgrids and distribution utilities, as well as the US-India Smart Grid Partnership. So I came from the US DOE Office of Electricity Delivery and Energy Reliability, and this office drives the electric grid modernization and resiliency for the U.S. energy infrastructure. Our office, working with other offices within DOE to ensure a modernized, resilient, reliable, and flexible electricity system. And as we modernize our grid, we're not only looking at the inclusion of technology innovation, but also the security and resilience and the institutional support and alignment with our state and local government. So our vision is that the integrated microgrid program foresees the technical requirement for advancing the microgrid to a fully integrated entity within the distribution system, interacting seamlessly with the distribution system operator. And so in this vision, there are multiple different sizes and applications, including a single microgrid to a partial feeder microgrid to fully feeder to a substation level. So where we are and where we go in the past, we've been through the public-private partnerships, looking at workshops to help align and develop our programs. We have developed use cases to help modeling and simulation of technologies, and developing the requirements for microgrid controllers. At the present time, we are implementing the development of microgrid controller, as well as the simulation and modeling the interaction between DMS and the DER. We are focusing on the IEEE standards, developing metrics and testing. In the future, we will continue to collaborate domestically as well as internationally to implement our programs. We are planning to develop the DMS field demonstration in the near future, and developing tools and techniques to help the regulatory reform. In the advanced microgrid concepts, is that an advanced microgrid is one that provides functions at the point of common coupling beyond the basic island and synchronization functions. And as advanced microgrid interacts with a larger grid, cooperatively managing power flows across the PCC, optimize benefits for both the microgrid and macrogrid. So in this concept, microgrid is no longer just working in island mode to provide reliability, but now it becomes a part of a larger grid to support the grid and reap the benefits that it's providing to the grid. So through our workshops in 2011, we defined the DOE 2020 targets, and it's related to 4 different things. One is we wanted to reduce improving the resiliency by reducing the outage time of critical loads. The second target is it has a cost target that microgrids should be at the same cost or comparable to non-integrated baseline solution, which is the UPS and diesel generators. Reduction of emissions targets, as well as the improving of energy efficiencies. So the following workshops help prioritize our R&D topics in planning, design, and operation and control. So following those guidelines coming from the workshops, these are the areas that we are focusing on. Under design and planning tools, we developed the tool called DERCAM. And this tool has been helping the design community to optimize its microgrid design for multiple locations. And this tool can also be used to provide impact analysis of microgrid interconnection with distribution system. Under the system control and power flows, there are guidelines for DMS for grid modernization, distribution management system for grid modernization, and the grid interactive microcontroller and aggregated DER. Under device and integrated testing, we developed the microgrid controller hardware in the loop testbed and support the microgrid energy management system and DMS in terms of modeling and simulation. Under standards, we support the two main standards, the IEEE P2030.7 and 2030.8. So in this project, the microgrid research development and system design for microgrid controller, the objective here is to design and test a microcontroller that has the functionalities to support the achievement of our targets, as well as the support the community-defined resilience objectives. The project started last year. It has been through the design phase, and in this fiscal year, we are planning to test, and in FY17, we're planning to do more simulations and field demonstration. Now I want to talk a little bit about this project because it leads into the US-India Smart Grid Partnership. This project is called Structuring DMS Project, and the objective of this project is to develop the integrated control and management system for distribution systems, and to address the high penetrations of interconnected distributed energy resources, such as microgrid, energy storage, electric vehicles. It built on a number of reports from Argonne National Labs and Electric Power Research Institute, EPRI. And the integration that we are focusing on is the DMS with the microgrid energy management system and the distributed energy resources system, the DERMS. And this is the topic that I have been talking this morning of how do we have a seamless distribution system that can incorporate high level of penetration from DERs. The scope of this project is to identify gaps and enable technologies for integrating DMS, microgrid, EMS, and DERMS, to identify and define the interactive functions of controllers to fill those gaps, to conduct proof of concept simulation, to evaluate the effectiveness of integrating the three controls and management systems, and finally to recommend the field site for demonstration projects. Our team members is Argonne National Labs, EPRI, and National Renewable Energy Laboratory. So to prepare us for this project, there are a couple of reports. The first one is called Guidelines for Implementing Advanced Distribution Management System. And this report provides the requirements for the integration between the DMS, microgrid, and the DERMS. The second report from EPRI focuses on providing the relationship between the three actors, the DERMS, the microgrid, and the DMS. And throughout this work, there's a relationship and the interactions of the three actors are now summarized in this chart. In terms of the hardware in the loop testing, this is the capability to allow researchers to study multiple scenarios in near real-time condition and without risks. And the purpose of our test site is to provide more standardized and independent testing to reduce the cost, to looking into more research and to facilitate the standard development in this space. And in the standard areas, we sponsored the work in support of the two working groups, one in the IEEE 2030.7, which is the standards for the specification of microgrid controllers. And the second one is the standards for testing of microgrid controllers. So one is to help standardize the design process for a microgrid controller. The other one is standardize the testing of the controller. So all the work that I have talked about, basically defining the vision, defining the targets, and the research activities that I had mentioned through the work with industries and the labs is a natural progression to this US-India Joint Energy Research Center. This center was announced last year by our Secretary of Energy. The funding opportunity notice was released in August of last year, and the scope is to focus on the smart grid and energy storage to support both countries in this space. On the U.S. side, U.S. Energy is the lead to work with India Ministry of Science and Technology. So there are multiple stakeholders in this consortium, including national laboratories, university, academic institution, as well as private industries. And our objective in this work is, on the smart grid side, is to fill the gaps for integration of the DMS and the DER control, to identify interactive functions in DMS and the DER control that support the distribution system operator concept for grid operations, and to characterize the integrated system through modeling and at the field levels. On the grid storage component is to establish a prototypic model for electrical system topology and configurations, including loads, generation, storage, etc. for India, and to identify classes of systems for independent and grid integrated microgrid and resilient system architecture. So in all, it's a substantial project, and it's allow a platform for more collaboration between the US and India to modernize our grid. And I'm very happy and excited to working with our counterpart from Ministry of Science and Technology to make sure this is a successful project. Thank you very much.